on and say yeah. Come on and tell me twice. I sit down, you are shabby. You run around and groove like a baddie. You're only here just
And he's back in time. And we're on. Hello, everyone.
Hello, good evening.
Hello. Well, we know who we are. Who's that?
I'm not so sure anymore.
Have you been locked in too long, Gemma? Is it getting too much?
Yes. How many weeks are we now? Which
Eight.
number is this? This
Eight.
is Mod Choose Live number 8. We're presenting for you this evening, ladies and gentlemen.
It is. It's been 8. We've done 8 of these so far. Can you believe that? Do you know what I mean? And we're very lucky because we've had some marvellous guests. But this guest is sitting in the whole show because look, he's down there, and the man there is a walking advert. We better introduce him. That's Carl James Hunter. When I was younger, I was very happy because he was in a band called The Farm, and I liked The Farm a lot. And there he is, sitting in one of my jackets.
Looking the part too.
Yeah, and there he is, look, and he's got a pair of my shoes. That's just...
I can't wear them.
Is it because it's raining? There's no other reason. It's sure it's just raining. It's Anyway, Luke, get us going. Are you going to tell us what's coming up?
Yes, I can. Well, as we've given away already, we have later on with Carl. We have an interview with him later on. We've got all the usual stuff. We've got our Mobmaster quiz, and this week's theme is Manchester Baggy music theme. So
okay,
we've the guests are the contestants are all prepped for that, so it's all good. Gemma is going to be on social media tonight, so as per usual, any shout outs?
We're going to attempt 2 tonight.
We're live on 2 different feeds tonight, so Gemma's got one eye on each, so we'll see how that goes. So,
are you from the Fens? Have you got eyes that go like that?
Andy, what have I told you about offending people?
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
So, so as usual, any shout outs, any questions regarding the shoes, the clothes, the sizing, the stock, any of that kind of stuff, please get in touch. We will attempt to answer all of them, and all the shout outs we will read out over the course of the show. As we said, this week's theme is Manchester, and to start us off, we have a little piece of Andy. It was big in your youth, wasn't it not, Andy?
It was. Do we just want to introduce the fact that because Carl's here, if there is any questions that anybody's got burning and they want to ask him about the farm or perhaps about those days, Gemma will try and slot them into some of the when we're doing the interview later. Do you want to? Should we do that? Yeah. No, that's cool. Sorry, mate. Yeah. So. I've interjected again. Sorry.
You have. I was just telling the boys and girls at home that we have a piece now of you reminiscing about the era which was in your college days, I believe.
No, this was pre-college. I went back as a mature student. I have,
You're younger than I thought you were.
What, 27? You're very kind. What, younger than you? Never mind. Right, let's just play this, and here we go. So I wanted to talk a bit about Manchester in 1990. Up to about 89, 90, I think my life consisted of Northern Soul, scooter rallies, and just basically going out on the odd Magic and Motown weekend. But in late 89, early 90, I heard the Stone Roses album for the first time. And what a magical thing that is. Looking at the track listing now, when I put it on that first time, it was in headphones at work. I listened to it once. It was 10 past 10. I remember it distinctly. It lasts 47 minutes, that album. I listened to it once, and then I listened to it probably 5 times that day on a borrowed CD. That very afternoon, I went out and bought the LP. Now, what you could tell by that was you could tell that they were similar to us. They felt similar to us. And I've been seeing pictures of them in NME, and although it's not mod in the kind of classic sense of the word, you could tell that they were, cut from the same cloth. They got that look, the things about them, the things they talked about, with the guitar. It's obviously a bit of Jimi Hendrix in 60s and all of that. Dress-wise, yeah, it was baggy, and I think that was good. I mean, it's part rave, it was part, indie kid, and I think this is perhaps where it was important. The Roses managed to get both of those things and clunk them together and still make it cool. So part rave, yes, somebody likes doing that, but also somebody likes Jimi Hendrix and the Beatles, and I think that's really important. That year, like a lot of people in the pictures you're seeing on the screen at the moment, there was lots of flares, wasn't there, around, lots of t-shirts with slogans on them, which were dead cool. I loved all that. One of the bands that are coming up later in the programme, The Farm, I remember reading about them in NME, and one of the things they used to love is they loved the Redskins and the Jam, and that just struck me as being they were like me, and that was what was important to me about it. It felt like a street fashion, something that wasn't manufactured. It was very easy to say what it wasn't. It wasn't now that's what I call music. It wasn't stoned wash denim jeans that everybody else was wearing and all that sort of stuff. It felt like something that was a good thing. I remember us going to Spike Island on a very long, coach journey. It seemed to take forever to get there, and I won't say that the day itself was particularly brilliant, because I knew a bit about rave music, and I'd been to a couple of raves, but it wasn't my thing really at the time. It wasn't until the Stone Roses come on, and then that was magical. They were brilliant, fantastic. I remember walking away buzzing, absolutely amazing. But that year, and for those 2 years, were something, weren't they? I mean, you had things like the New Order in the charts with the football doing World in Motion, and that was fantastic. Seeing football back on the telly and not feeling wrong to like it, that was fantastic. You could tell, you could dance to it. More important, and I think that's really important, I loved a lot of the indie stuff, but you can't dance to it. One of the good fusions about that, with that and Primal Scream doing that Loaded remix, is you could go out and have a boogie, and you could dance without putting too far. But girls would dance to it. It wasn't sort of blokes watching other blokes watching bands. That said, I think the lasting legacy, I mean, as with any scenes, it started to die off. I remember watching The Farm, and they had a band called Top Plane, and no disrespect to them, I'm sure they're nice lads, but there was lots of people bandwagoning jumping towards the end. But I do feel that Manchester felt like a proper street fashion, and whilst it's not mod in the classic sense of the way, it strikes me that it did have that connection, in that it was white guys playing guitars, trying to sound funky, trying to look cool, and for 2 glorious years it was really good fun. Anyway, let's play out with some music and a video. Anyway, through fear of getting thrown off, because we got thrown off last week for playing videos, I'll only play a bit of that. Carl, do you remember the Stone Roses? Did you remember before the Fame stuff or any of that? Or
Yeah, no, I remember the Stone Roses before they were successful. Yeah, I remember them quite well. But they were kind of, when that kind of Manchester scene kicked in, for a better word, and they became supersonic. But there was an interesting period whereby a lot of those bands were kind of friends. So
okay.
We were in Liverpool. We were very, very close to Happy Mondays, and still are to this day. We're still very good friends with them. But like the Stone Roses, we knew, the Spiral Carpets, the Mocktails, Charlatans, all these bands were kind of on the same radar. So the Mondays we knew more than anyone. but we kind of knew the Stone Roses. And then later on, when they reformed, the first time that John Squire and Ian Brown got on the stage together was actually with the Farm.
Oh, right. Okay. Where was that?
Well, we did something called the Justice Tonight tour with Mick Jones, which was to raise awareness of the Elizabeth Justice campaign.
Okay.
And the idea was Mick Jones kind of, well, I'd say fronted the band. Mick wouldn't say that, and probably wouldn't like me to say that.
Yeah.
But the idea was that we were like, if you like, the house band, the Farm.
Oh,
We
okay.
were 12 Clash songs. So we'd have Mick and the Farm and Pete Wiley. And then we'd go around the country, play massive venues, and then invite singers and musicians who were well known from that city to get up and do 1, 2, maybe 3 Clash songs with us. But when we played, when we did Warrington, it was all kept secret. But John Squire and Ian Brown wanted to do it. But Manny wasn't around, sadly, and neither was Rennie. So John and, in fact, I played bass. John and Ian did Bank Robber by The Clash with us.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Which was kind of funny, because when they were young kids, Ian and John used to hang around outside Strawberry Studios, and they'd listened to the Clash recording Bank Robber.
Oh, really?
When they were about 14, 13.
And how did they do that? Were they in London for the day or something? I mean, or...
Oh, no, Strawberry Studios was in...
Oh, of course, because of Strawberry Fields, as in the Beatles song.
Oh, no, Strawberry Studios was owned by 10cc.
Oh, the one in Manchester. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, yeah. Oh, okay. Is that what it was called? I didn't know. I knew it was the 10cc Studios, but I didn't know it was called Strawberry.
Yeah, well, that's where the Clash did Bank Robber, but Ian and John used to hang outside the door and the window, listening to the Clash. Fast forward many years.
And there they are doing Bank Robber.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Come on,
that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Okay.
And
Well,
after that, the Stone Roses then reformed, because we knew they were going to reform, but we had to keep it a secret. We weren't allowed to tell anyone.
yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
But anyway, so then they reformed, and then we took the Justice Tonight band with Mick Jones and Pete Wiley and supported them at Heaton Park, and then we went to Europe with them.
Yeah.
So we toured with them, and you have to say they were, the fact that they had the balls and the bottle to go, we'll take this political campaign on tour with us.
Yeah.
Enough. Honestly, great people, and a great band.
Good band. I'm going to cut to an advert because we're meant to be doing the interview later, but thank you for that. Because me and you spoke on the phone for an hour, and these two will get very bored. That was
The Hillsborough campaign is so very close to my heart as well, so never get bored of that.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. Right, let's do. Where were we, Luke? I've thrown myself now.
You're going to play. We're going to play. Well, you mentioned Warrington before. We've got a mate of ours from Warrington.
Yeah.
Who's going to do a version of a Stone Roses song for us now? You're going to play that, aren't you, Andy?
Yes, I am, mate. And 2 or 3 things. We're not far from playing Modmaster, but let's have the song.
Let's hear Neil doing Waterfall by the Stone Roses.
Yeah.
Chops and Sunday morning. Today's the day she swore to steal what she never could own and race from this house she calls home. Now you're at the wheel. Tell me how does it feel? So good to have equalized, to lift up the lids of your eyes. As the miles they disappear, see land begin to play, free from the filth and the scum. This American satellite's warm. She'll carry on through it all. She's waterfall. She'll carry on through it all. She's a waterfall. She'll carry on through it all. She's a waterfall.
Here we are with the Luca. The Luca is a brand new trainer from Mod Shoes. It's very specifically in a retro style. I'll bring it close to the camera. As you can see, construction wise, it's retro. So in here, there's not lots of padding like you would expect in, like, say, a modern trainer. More importantly, it's not plastic or synthetic inside, so it makes for better wear. It's got a lovely crinkle look to the leather, which gives it a nice sense of authenticity and retro again. The design is very simplistic, again on the top and on the bottom. And this one you can see is obviously in the chestnut colour. It's called the Luca, which I've already established, and it's got it on the back there as well. Now, we do several colours. You've just seen the chestnut. This is obviously all black. It's suede at the front, leather at the side here. It's exactly the same, it's just a different colour. We've also got the blue. Again, very similar, crinkled sort of leather, which gives it a nice sort of retro vintage look, and suede, and then the neutral sole. And finally, we got the white ones. Again, this is all leather, and what's different about that, I don't think you can see it in the camera if it's going to focus it, all crinkle, white sole on the bottom. Now notice with this one that the white is not pure white, it's got like a cream. So if you put it against some pure white, you can see that this has a sort of cream colour. You know, it's like aged, and that's very deliberate. And we very deliberately made these in the very similar way to you would have got a pair of trainers in the 70s or the 60s and 70s. They're very simple inside, and that's about it. So anyway, that's the Luca. That's from Mod Shoes, and they're on the website now. So Carl, our guest, has had a sudden influx of somebody come in. Is it because it's the lockdown, and so sheep feel comfortable to come into towns? Is that what's going on, Carl?
The farmers aren't allowed out to come back in the field. That's the problem.
It's a pretty stylish sheep.
Yeah. That is pretty cool. So, have you kept that since then, Carl?
I have, yeah. Well, to be honest with you, I actually don't keep very much. I don't. Peter Hooton's a hoarder.
Yeah.
Peter Hooton keeps everything: bus tickets,
bus tickets,
beer
mats, records. Yeah, well, that's it.
There it is. Look, there's the real one.
I'm sorry to interject there, Carl, but we're going to have to head to Jem for a social media update. Otherwise the natives get restless. And we're interested to know if Carl's bandmates from the farm are commenting to give him stick tonight, as he did tell them that he was on. So they might be tuned in. How are we looking, Jem?
Yeah, you've got away with it so far, Carl. They haven't commented yet, but I'll keep checking.
Yeah.
First big shout out tonight goes out to Elliot Easton, who's watching this tonight.
Hi,
Elliot was the first guest on Mod Shoes. Elliot is obviously from the Cars. So hi, Elliot. Hope you're well.
He's in every week these days.
Yeah, he said that his Manchester quiz knowledge would be a little bit diabolical, so he won't really be playing that.
Elliot, if you're still listening, message us in your score. See how you do.
Yeah, see how you do, Elliot. Bonnie Anderson loves his mod shoes. We've got Jonathan Rees, who says, good evening from Wing. Evening to everybody watching tonight. I won't say everybody's names because there's quite a few of you on tonight. So just hello to everyone. Rebecca, yes, I'm fine, thank you. Hope you are too. Linda says, thanks for keeping us entertained during this time. You're very welcome, Linda. Pete Cole says hello to everybody as well. Paul Davis, that's lovely, Alan, to Luke. That's for you.
Is that an Only Fools and Horses
Alan?
reference?
Alan.
You all right, Alan?
Yeah. Yeah. And then we've got Graham Shaw says hi from New York. So we've got somebody all the way from New York tonight.
Oh, Graham.
He was lucky enough to see the Stone Roses at Blackpool at Blackpool and Leeds in '89. So that was nice.
Very nice.
Katie Rooney, the Stone Roses, Belfast 1990 was the best that she'd seen. Andy Hughes is really digging this. And it was a great story from Carl about the Stone Roses and the Clash. And finally, we have Andrew Scott, who just had his delivery of the Cord Mod shoes, which are the Daytons, which Andy has behind him.
No, that's not what's behind me.
Could have got away with that.
Yeah, no.
What are they behind you then?
Well done. Very well interjected. Those behind me are the boots version of the shoes. I think if Carl was to put his hands down, he's got the shoe version down there, and which we sent him the other day. And
there we go.
And on putting that pair of shoes on Twitter, was it the guitarist of the Happy Mondays said, "Where did you get them shoes?" or something?
It was Gary the drummer.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. He's bought a pair.
Oh, has he? Oh, wow.
We had to send them to his mum's in Manchester because Gary lives in Canada.
Oh, where? Oh, really?
Just outside Toronto.
All right, we could have sent them to Canada. We send all. Let's just do in a moment here. We do send all over the world. I don't know if it's anywhere we don't. But I just need to mention these. But we'll do a bigger thing about these probably next week. These are the boots. I'm hoping the boots are going to be here Friday. This is the sample. If you're on the newsletter, you're on the mailing list or anything like that, you get first dibs. So get yourselves on the newsletter. These are the boots. These are even more comfortable than the Daytons, which I've got on my feet now. You know, these are proper comfy. These are lovely. But these are even nicer. They're so cool. Look at that. They're ace, aren't they? Yeah. Hey?
Andrew Scott didn't actually specify which cord shoes they were, so it could be one of any of them.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, he loves them. It was good service and they're fantastic quality. So thank you for that, Andrew.
All right. Well, that's absolutely fab. So are we...
Yeah.
No, I think what we're going to...
Andy, just quickly, sorry, I've got one question for Carl while he's here with us.
Yeah, go.
Here we go. Lee's just sending 3 questions. Have you ever played on stage with somebody that made you just think, wow? And if so, who, Carl?
God, the list... that's a big list. That Mick Jones, Clash, Mick Jones.
Surely that must have been a hero moment, wouldn't it? Sure, Mick Jones, you're Clash fan, surely.
Oh yeah. The farm are all Clash fanatics.
Yeah.
Sidney Mick Jones playing with him was good. Paul Simonon from the Clash as well.
So who played the bass then? Were you both on at the same time or?
Well, we were actually, we both played bass at the same time, although it didn't really last for long because we were sound checking.
Oh, okay.
So it's quite funny because I was playing London's Calling.
Okay.
And a little bit in it, and I couldn't quite figure out how he does it. So I just said to him, how'd you do that bit? And he went, oh, you're making it too hard. You do like this. So I got a 30-second bass lesson off Paul. And after that, I didn't wash. until I got me mud shoes.
Right, let's play this advert. Let's play this advert, and guys.
Advert, and then we'll be back with the Mod Master quiz.
Yay, Mod Master time! Hooray!
Well, I think the last 10 years there's been a massive explosion of love for vintage because 90s is coming back, it's not even vintage yet. 70s and 60s is current on the high street and on the catwalks. I think people realise the quality and the kind of aesthetic quality of it really. And they love it because it always is here. You're always going to be able to find a vintage treasure. There's clothes that never go out of style regarding what decade they're from. We're really lucky because we're the biggest Sue Ryder vintage in the area. Had an Armani gown which needs to go to auction. We get your typical 1960s treasures. Had a couple of J-Tech shirts. We really get everything. We've had some Big E Levi's come in recently in mint condition. On a weekly basis get treasures. It is hard to find good quality vintage shoes, and often when they come in their soles are cracked or they've been overworn. And I think sometimes you need to find a new pair of shoes that's got the vintage look, the vintage style and is good quality, and you need to find a pair that's going to go with your outfit and is going to last, and to find a vintage style pair of shoes is even better.
Now, we're back,
Oh.
Luke. We're back. So,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's edition of Mobmaster.
Right.
And this week's theme, as you've probably gathered by now during the show, is Manchester. And we are joined by John. Say hello, John.
How you doing, guys?
And Kev. And Kev's dog.
Hello.
Hi, Johnny Kev. And
They-
Kev's dog.
They are going head to head tonight to win the free pair of shoes from Mod Shoes. We flipped a coin earlier, so we decided the running order, and John is going to go first. So without further ado, we shall start. Are you ready, John?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Are you doing scores, Gemma?
I am.
Jem,
Right, good,
Jem
right.
should be keeping the score for us tonight, because I wouldn't trust Andy with that.
No.
So, John, are we ready, John? You can hear me loud and
Yeah.
clear?
Good to go.
Okay, perfect. So, question 1, John. Who sang the tune Step On in 1990?
Well, that's the Happy Mondays.
It is correct. Question 2. Who wanted you to sit down also in 1990?
This is against me, yeah?
Yep,
That's James.
is correct.
Fabulous.
Question 3. Noel Gallagher auditioned as singer but became roadie for which Manchester band?
In Spiral Carpets.
Is correct.
And Andy Ellen, he'll realise that I wish he'd stayed there.
What was his nickname in the band? What did the band nickname him?
Who? Noel Gallagher?
Yeah.
Oh, God, I don't know that. I do
Oh,
know
yeah, it's
that.
on my quiz, so it's yours.
Yeah.
Oh, that isn't question 4, John, by the way. Question 4 actually is, whose number 1 LP was Spartacus?
Well, there's another man in the room at the moment who could answer that for me, but that was the farm.
It is correct. Question
He's
5.
glad he got that one right.
Look at that car storming off, not doing the interview.
The thing, I got it wrong.
Cup of tea hits the camera.
I got it wrong.
Question 5, John.
Yeah.
Which chart position did The Only One I Know by the Charlatans get to? Was it 5, 7 or 9?
Wow.
I should be
would
ready.
say 9. 9.
9 is correct. Well done. Cooking on gas here, isn't it?
Yeah, easy. I
Question
told you.
6.
That was a tester.
Question 6. The Inspiral Carpets T-shirts were... Hang on, Andy. Have you written this?
Do you want me to say it?
Yes, you say it.
What was on this In Spiral Carpets t-shirts at the time, John?
The logo or the animal?
Both. Either or.
Like, cool as fuck cow.
Yep.
Is correct. Sorry. I should have pre-read that question as it's
It's-
written in Andy's English. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Botswana.
Question 7. Where were Manchester band Bridewell Taxis from?
I've never even heard of this band.
Yes, you have.
I know.
Well, once John's up, we'll hand it over to Carl.
I'm going to say Cambridge.
No.
Oh, Carl, can you tell us?
Leeds.
It was Leeds.
I thought you'd know that, John.
No, that's the new one to me.
Question 8, John. Name 2 of the Happy Mondays that aren't Sean or Bez.
Mark Day was the original keyboard player,
Is one.
and Mark Cowday is the guitarist.
We haven't got him in the list, unfortunately.
Oh.
Any more?
Guitarist. Mark Day, original guitarist.
We've got Mark Day. That was the first one was correct, yeah.
Yeah, Gary Whelan.
It's another one. Well done.
Ooh.
Very good.
Shoes.
Hey?
Doing well.
Ordered a pair of your shoes.
He's the one who's ordered a pair of mod shoes.
Yeah.
So thanks, Gary.
Yeah.
Question 9, John. Which mod band had bassist Martin Blunt from the Charlatans in?
Now, Andy used to play me the original single, Student Black, because the bass line is the same as the only one I know. And
I know Kev is dying to answer that question.
That's
I
the
think
coin.
I'm going to have to answer the question.
Is it the first time tonight I'm going to be playing this?
5, 4, 3, 2.
Is this? I don't. It's something like a stand or something like that. I don't know.
No,
Play me the record though.
It was Making Time.
Oh, yeah.
And finally, question 10.
That's lost me the shoes.
Manchester band World of Twist had a small hit with which Rolling Stones song?
I'm going to say Sympathy for the Devil.
It was She's a Rainbow, unfortunately. But that was really good. How did John do, Jem?
Very well.
John got 29 points there, Luke.
29
Big round
points.
of applause.
Yay.
Well done, John. That is a really good score. Now, Andy, are you following your usual theme and going to a short advert break?
Yeah, I can do that, mate. Yeah, would you like me to do that? Yeah, let's have a couple of adverts.
How old and how much is that vase?
It's 1,000 years old and worth £10,000.
Ha-ha! This curly-whirly, with all its miles of chewy toffee covered in creamy Cadbury's chocolate, is 10 minutes old, only costs 3p. Of course, you can't stick flowers in it. But you can't chew a vase.
$6 million man, ready to operate and command. Colonel Steve Austin is the $6 million man, complete with the technology to replace his bionic modules. Check him out with the bionic transport and repair station. Control his amazing lifting strength. See through his wide-angle bionic eye. The man, his bionic transport that becomes a repair station, and a working backpack radio.
John's now interviewing Carl. We're back on Modmaster.
Yes, we've got some anorak behaviour going on here from John. But
John
but,
has
he had a very good score, but we'll see how Kev does before we dish out the anoraks this evening. So Kev, are you ready for your set of questions, Kev? And what's your dog's name, Kev?
Rufus.
Rufus. Kev and or Rufus, are you ready for your questions?
Yeah, go for it, man.
Okay, perfect. Question 1. Which band released Fool's Gold?
Stone Roses.
Is correct. Question 2. Who had the world in motion in 1990?
New Order.
Is correct. Question 3. Which famous club did the Happy Mondays shoot their Rope for Luck video?
Hacienda.
Is correct. Well done. Question 4. Whose LP was The Beast Inside?
Five, 4,
Primal
3,
Scream.
2.
Was Charlatans. Question 5. Multiple choice. Which chart position did Kinky Afro by Happy Mondays get to? Was it 5, 7 or 9?
Let's go with 9.
It was number 5.
Ooh.
Question 6. The era is famous for baggy jeans. One make from Manchester is the famous one. What's the name?
I wouldn't even have. I don't know.
I'm not playing. I'm not doing the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I know he don't know.
You mod types wouldn't know, would you? Joe
No.
Bloggs.
Really?
Yes.
Have you never heard that, Kev?
No.
No. Okay.
Question 7. Where are the charlatans from?
Ooh. Is it Sproston Green?
No. Does John know?
Their songs, isn't it?
Yeah.
John, where? John, do you know where the charlatans are from?
Well, 2 of them are from Birmingham. Martin Blunt and the original drummer was from Birmingham. Tim Burgess was from Middlewich, just outside Manchester. And Mark Collins is from Manchester.
It says North.
so-
I've put Northwich, but I don't.
So it was actually a bit of a trick question there, Andy.
Northwich is the record shop. Northwich is the place where the record shop was, where they met.
Fucking hell.
Andy, language! It's not 9 o'clock yet.
It took words
So
out.
it wouldn't have even mattered. So what you're saying is, if Kev had said Northwich, he would have been wrong anyway, technically.
Their manager is a guy called Steve Harrison who ran a record shop in Northwich, and that's where they met him.
I'll get me coat.
So if Kev had said Northwich, John, if
Yeah.
Kev had said Northwich, would he technically still have been wrong then?
No.
I think that's fair, yeah.
Northwich.
Well, 'cause if he, no, well, you might want to say yes, because if he was, I'll give him the points.
Anyway, moving on.
Because Andy got that question wrong. So, question 8. Question 8. The Happy Mondays had a huge hit with Step On, but who did the original?
John Congus.
Well done.
Is correct. Question 9.
That single did they record?
Sorry, we can't. There's no bonus points available.
If we need a tie break, we'll go to Carl.
Yeah, Carl can give us a tiebreaker. Question 9, Kev.
Yeah.
Loaded by Primal Scream was a big hit in 1990, but it was a remix. Who did that remix?
Could you just repeat the first bit?
Sorry, Loaded by Primal Scream was a big hit in 1990. It was a remix. Who did that remix?
A clue is just past.
No clues. No clues on question 9.
All right.
Can I look in my record box?
Yeah.
No, you can't.
I know you got it.
Countdown.
Oh, right. Yeah. Sorry.
5,
It won't make any
4,
difference.
3.
The answer was Andy Featherall.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Question 10.
The moon and stars of the gifts they gave.
Don't do that again.
Question
No.
10, Kev. Tony Wilson said, "This young band are going to be bigger than Simple Minds." But who was he talking about?
I'll go for Oasis.
No, it was North Side.
Who?
Don't you dare say who. They did. Shall we take a trip down? Shall we take a trip down memory lane?
Jem, how did Kev do there?
Rubbish.
I'm not going to say you did rubbish, Kev. They were tricky questions. Plus, one of them was totally wrong. So, it's not your fault. You got 14 points there, Kev. Well done.
Not bad. Not bad. I mean, we don't like to say that's the lowest score we've had so far on Mob Master. But well done, Kev. Well done, Kev. Anyway, you won't. maybe you should have let Rufus answer your questions for you. Anyway.
Fuck off.
Sorry,
I'm not
Kev.
taking part in this.
Sorry. But you don't go away empty-handed, because you
No.
still go away with the £30 voucher to spend at modshoes.co.uk. How does that grab you?
very well.
Well, there you go. So, before we head over to John for his 3 in 15 question, are there any shout-outs you would like to give us tonight?
The wife, who was not very much help at all. Rufus, who was even less help. And the usual, anyone else that knows me.
Perfect.
Good man.
Well done, Kev, and thank you for joining us.
Good luck, John.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, good to meet you. Good to speak to you tonight.
And you, sir.
Right, we'll leave you on, but because it messes up my screen.
Yeah, we're not as swift as Popmaster. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, John, well done for getting through to 3 and 15. Are you ready for tonight's question?
Yeah, let's go for it.
So tonight, John, we would like 3 singles from Oasis.
Go Let It Out, Wonderwall, Supersonic.
That'll do.
Yeah, that'll do, mate.
Well done, John.
Hold on, I've got it ready for the
They
first.
got the cheer, you just weren't ready for it because people aren't used that quick. Well done, John. So you win the 3 pair of shoes. Any shoes you like from Mod Shoes? Any idea which shoes they're going to be?
I have a feeling there's a nice pair of brown loaf with like boot things that you've got there. I think.
Is it the Shelbys or is it some? You want some brogues? I know you do.
I'm not sure of the name. Like a brown suede pair of boots.
Okay, we can do that.
Just one quick thing. My wife's realised I've won because she's just come into the room.
Well, you need to keep quiet because you won, John. So they have to be men's shoes. They can't be lady shoes. They have to be men's ones. Sorry, John's wife.
He might cross-dress.
He might.
So that would be lovely.
Sorry, anybody who does,
Yeah, careful.
We're a very open-minded company. Sorry, just yeah.
Well, thank you
about that. So well done, John. Thank you for joining us. And
does he want to do some shout-outs?
Very good answers tonight. So have you got any shout-outs for us, John?
Well, my little girl Betty's in bed, so I can't shout out too loud, but she can have the box to play with.
That's a good one.
Right,
and,
go on.
Thank you, John.
Whoever else is out there, yeah, have a good evening. And
everybody.
Good man. Right, let's. I think we're going to play a song by the person who's near us, and then we're going to start a proper formal interview, or try. Guys, thank you very much. See you again soon. Well done, John. See you soon, Kev. Bye bye now.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye bye. Here we go. Well, we've just seen. How shall I put? Let me introduce you properly. Now, I've got a proper script over here, and I should do this properly.
But you've got a proper script. It's not going to have the same impact because Carl's been with us all evening.
Well, this is true, but I want. But there's 2 or 3 things I want to mention. So. Yeah. Sorry, Carl. Yeah. He's been here all week.
He's been here all week.
It just feels like a week, does it?
I'm in a care home.
I'm in a care home. Let me out. Anyway, on the screen, introduced properly this time, we have Carl James Hunter. Carl James Hunter is obviously the bass player in The Farm, which you've established several times already. He's also an accomplished film director. Titles include Grow Your Own, Sometimes Always Never. He teaches film production, runs a record label called The Label, and believe it or not, as you can see, because he's wearing it, he's a customer of Mod Shoes. So, hello, Carl, properly.
Hi, Carl.
Good evening.
How did you fare on the old Modmaster quiz tonight, Carl?
Not too bad. There's one I didn't know the answer to.
Which one was that?
The World of Twist.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, didn't know that. Knew all the others.
That's a great album. It's one of those lost classics. It's a really good album. But anyway, proper interview, Luke, you're doing.
We have got a proper interview with proper questions. So as we saw just before we came back here, Groovy Train. So Groovy Train was your first major hit, shall we say, Carl? What was that? What the band had been working towards all the time, or was it? Did it just happen? Did it feel good when it did happen? You know, tell us a bit about that era.
Yeah, we always wanted to have a hit single, like most bands, really. Well, maybe not Crass.
Sorry.
Great. I'm not knocking a great band. I love them. No, we always wanted a hit single, as most bands do. But it was that weird period of, well, how do you have it single? You know, how does that happen? And we, no record label would touch us with a barge pole. We tried them all, but we were always that band that was about to be signed.
Yeah.
But it never was. And then eventually we had, this is a very long story, but a friend of ours said, if I loan you some money, why don't you put a record out but do it properly? And we just thought he was insane. We just expect somebody who's watching. But we just thought he was, you know, a bit mad. So we humoured him and said, of course, yeah, great idea. You loan us some money and we'll put a record out and do it properly. But it turned out he was completely and utterly, in fact, he was offended that we even thought that he wouldn't do it. Anyway, out of the goodness of his heart, he did put up, it was about £30,000.
In 1990, he put up 30 grand. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, it turns out he was from a very wealthy family. We didn't know that, by the way. But the thing was, he said, well, I'll just lend you some money and then you do it properly. And if you have a hit record and you make money, well, you can give me it back. And if you don't, well, then you just don't.
Oh, well.
Yeah. So, what's his phone number?
So we said to him in the end, okay, we'll do it. But then Kevin Sampson, who was managing the band at the time, who wrote Away Days, and the script for the film, Kevin was our manager in those days. And to this, he's not our manager anymore, but he's still a very, very close friend of the band, very close mate. So he said, well, I'll manage the band, but I'll bring in Suggs from Madness. And we'll join
like you do. Yeah. Oh, Suggs, what are you doing Thursday? Yeah.
Kevin was a really good friend of Suggs, and Suggs was a big fan of The Farm. In fact, our very first single was produced by Suggs at the Liquidator Studios in 1984.
Right, okay.
Date wrong there.
Well, you mentioned that because you said to us just before the show started that you were supposed to be back out on tour with Madness, weren't you, which has been cancelled due to the virus. So still good friends to this day then, I assume.
Yeah, we've got a long history with them, and a good history, really, really happy one, and one I'm very, very grateful for. But Suggs and Kevin Sampson then looked at the pots of money we had and said, well, how do you spend that money effectively without a record label and make it work? So what they did they brought people in who were good to work with, who kind of knew the music industry. So Suggs was the producer. We also brought in Mark Saunders, who was a producer who'd worked with The Cure and Erasure. And then we brought in a press agent, which we didn't even know existed. I'd never heard of a press agent.
But is that the difference, Carl? Is that the difference between a band that's full of hope and got some good tunes, and it's a bit like what you're doing with the films? Surely it's not just one person or half a dozen. You need people round you who know what to do or have been there before. Would you say that's true? Or
yeah, I think so. I think it's always good to have people around you who have a kind of knowledge of what you're trying to do. And the knowledge doesn't have to be massive. It just needs to be one more page on than you are.
Right, yeah.
Now, we did work with some great people. We had a brilliant press agents. And then we put the records out ourselves. So we formed a record label called Produce, which we ran. And in fact, there's a funny story where one of our mates who worked for the record label got very irritated working with us because it became a full-time job. Because we would have hit records in Germany and in France and Poland, over Europe, we were having hits, and then started to work in America a little bit. So the lads, all of a sudden, we're going, hold on, I'm doing a 12-hour day here. And it's like, and once someone phoned up one day and asked a question, and then a grumpy response, look, mate, last month, I was putting those little plastic things on shoelaces. I haven't got a fucking clue what I'm doing. But you see, up to that point, no record label would ever sign us. So we did it ourselves. And our first record, which did really, really well. Then our second record, Groovy Train, did massively well. And then the third record, Altogether Now, it was just, huge.
Yeah, and Altogether Now. Altogether Now, I know we're going to try and keep to this script, but it Altogether Now is just like had a life of its own. I mean, it was everywhere that Christmas. It was a huge record. You couldn't have put a better record out at Christmas. You know what I mean? It was massive. Yeah.
Well, we were there. Remember, there was talk of it being a potential Christmas number one that year. It wasn't. It was number 3, and we were picked to the post by Madonna and Cliff Richards.
Well, you don't need that, do you?
Well, Cliff Richard did buy us a pint in the bar, though.
Yeah. But it's been a hit. It's been a hit since, though, isn't it? It's right. I think my internet's connection's going. It's because you're all going a bit gobbledygook.
Okay.
So
your video's going behind.
Yeah.
Carl, now, particularly being from Liverpool, that was the question I wanted to ask. What did you think of the term Manchester as a general term, and how it was associated with Close the Music, and particularly, what was your opinion on that?
Well, the thing of Manchester is all the bands that came out of that kind of scene were from Manchester.
Yeah, well, this is what I thought. So
yeah. So me, I'm not. Yeah, well, I was never upset by it. Well, the thing is, like any kind of musical movement or any movement, is it's easier to write about if you give it, call it call it metal, call it Manchester. I think also as well is it was kind of, I think because it was, you had a very kind of working class kind of categorising, I think, in a way, like it was called.
Yeah.
Where all the footballers live.
Yeah, you'd have a different vibe, a different feel. Yeah. But I think so. It kind of did have a kind of working classy sort of title, which you quite liked. I mean, Baggy I never got. I never understood quite what Baggy.
Well, Andy, care to elaborate on that one?
Well, it's Baggy was just kind of, again, it's a press thing, isn't it? It's just something like you get in the press, like you say, Manchester. It was, I think, initially started because of the Hacienda, and because the Hacienda had such a, without putting too fine a point, an E. People go there, get off their heads on E's and dance around the stuff. And the Happy Mondays were from there. And because the Stone Roses and the Happy Mondays hung out, it was kind of one of those things where there's two bands, so there must be a scene. And then, like Carl says, the press need to gel it together. And there's a loose approximation of sound. So the internet connection's just playing up big style. So am I coming across clear or?
So, it sounds all right, but your video's slightly.
Yeah, you're cutting in and out back to me.
So Carl, obviously, we have touched on.
Keep going. You keep going. I'll just shut up.
We have touched upon this one.
Yeah.
Okay. Good idea. We have touched on this earlier in the show, Carl, but as we said, you probably.
Oh, hold on! Whoa! Luke, no, you're not. No. We're not going any further. The person who runs the farm Facebook page has just put on here. We were more influenced by Big Audio Dynamite rather than the Manchester. Is that Peter Hooton, Carl?
Which member of the band's doing that then, Carl?
That'd be true, by the way, because what happened was Big Audio Dynamite's first show in Liverpool was at a brilliant venue called the State, and me and Peter went. Me and Peter both went to that gig, and the Chiefs of Relief were supporting them. The Chiefs of Relief had Paul Cook in it, and the Pistols, and someone else I've forgotten now. But the main band was Big Audio Dynamite, and me and Peter went to that, and afterwards and the day after, it was a game changer. It changed everything for us.
The same happened to me. I remember buying that the first album, then the number 10 Up in Street, and I remember saying to the band I was in, I said, "We need to stop playing what we're doing. We need to sound like this." Literally, we were having the same conversation. It's strange, that, isn't it? But anyway, keep on track.
Peter Hooton pretty much said that after we'd seen Big Audio Dynamite. That's pretty much what he said was, this is really what we should be doing.
Luke, let's get on to the closed question, shall we?
Yes, that's a good idea. So you wanted to ask this question, Andy?
Yeah, please. So, clothes, Carl, have they always been important to the band? I mean, I remember you, and I've seen you've got like monkey jackets on and some of the things. Peter always, well, all of you had kind of striped tops, which are kind of very sort of casual, at the time, I always thought it was a bit football. It was a rave across with a football fan. Do you understand what I mean? And would you say that was true? Would you say the farm had a very sort of, that's a Liverpool look, that was you, because you weren't like the rest of the bands? Was sartorially, were you that what you're into, or?
Well, I think probably Liverpool lads, I suppose, in those days, probably were more distinctive than maybe other cities. I'm not saying better, just saying it was different. And certainly where we come from as a group of lads would have been from that kind of era, like kind of the Jam.
Yeah.
So we'd have picked up that nouveau mod thing where Fred Perry's certainly have been a big part of our wardrobe. So that would have carried in. So I suppose there would have been a kind of a terrace kind of look as well, I suppose.
Because I think, unlike, say, like the others, I always thought that you're. I wouldn't say you're modern. That's not what I mean. But Pete's hair was always very tidy, and he always had a stripe. Your drummer always had a stripe. It's kind of, it was very of the time. Some of the other bands, perhaps the Roses, were a bit more loose. Certainly the Happy Mondays, they were much loose. You seem to me to be a bit more kind of thinking about what you were looking like.
Yeah. No, I think that's pretty fair to say. Like, we definitely had, I think the band had definitely had an interesting kind of style. And we're probably looking at, I think where a lot of Manchester bands, they used to term Manchester bands very loosely, by the way.
Yeah.
Era, is, I think, like with Joe Bloggs, for instance, you mentioned the Jeans Company before Joe Bloggs. Mm-hmm. Now, you would never have seen anyone in Liverpool wear a pair of Joe Bloggs, I don't think, and it'd be very unlikely. And certainly in the farm, you would never have seen that. we'd probably had more towards kind of probably Paul Smith.
Oh, okay.
That's probably more where we'd have been more aware of Paul Smith than we ever would have been aware of Joe Bloggs.
Yeah. And I think because a lot of the Manchester, as opposed to Manchester, they would have had. They would have had the shops. There's the Joe. Oh, I can't think. It's not the Arndale Centre. It's the other one where they all used to go. There's a certain place, isn't it? Yeah, and that's it. Yeah. So, but anyway, let's get off of this because I'm conscientious.
So
we'll be on.
So we want to ask, like, obviously, how as the music industry shifted later on, and your decision to move into filmmaking, particularly, how did that come about?
Well, the filmmaking thing. I mean, I've always had a huge interest in film because my background is initially I'm a designer. That's what.
You was a graphic designer, weren't you?
Similarly to Andy and similarly to me now. So that's what.
So I started. I went to liberal arts school. So I trained to be graphic designer. So my BA and MA is I'm a designer originally. So I've always had an interest in record sleeves, which I used to design a lot of. So I've always been drawn towards the world of kind of art, like.
But is it like a visual art? It's not like clay, is it? It's a kind of like that. Was that you? Was you part of that process or?
Yeah, I did that. Yeah.
Oh.
This is the big version.
Yeah. We have a little clip to play of a couple of your successful films, which Andy's going to play for us.
Yeah. I'll put them on, and then we'll have a bit of a natter about them.
Could be a touch of frost in places, so gardeners might want to protect those tender plants.
All right, I'll do that, thanks. Gardeners are simple folk. We like hard work in the great outdoors.
You got any more bourbons?
We don't like
Charlotte Church.
Oh, Charlotte Church.
Peter Andre.
Celebrities.
David
Show-offs.
Attracted to your shirt. A lot of us are, you know.
Surprises.
On to the prize for the heaviest onion. And that's me.
And above all, we don't like...
Hello.
Change.
We want to welcome them, but on our terms. No ball games.
No ball game.
No barbecues. I can smell meat and garlic. No livestock. Otherwise, we'll be swamped.
But sometimes you don't need these pills. If you do a little...
How do you know?
Digging.
You're not a doctor.
Yes, I am a doctor.
Oh, something grows that you never expected.
This one here is for women problems. You have women problems?
You're welcome to stay.
Grandad, that's my bed.
There's a girl who walks past 2 bus stops to be at the same bus stop as her, but he doesn't speak.
When this is done, the thing you have to remember about these buttons is sometimes, always, never.
You look spruce. Doesn't he look spruce?
He's playing on my computer. Where else am I supposed to go?
Where have you seen those words before?
In a game of Scrabble.
Our Michael used to play them.
He's not coming back, you know.
What have I got to be scared of? The only thing I'm scared of is dying before I sort this out.
He talked about going to meet some guy off the internet.
Is he mentally enfeebled in any way?
I'm more than he ever was.
Have you had sex in my bed?
Well, we weren't going to have sex in Jack's bed. I'm not Tarzan.
Why are you worried? He's a very experienced sailor, isn't he?
Is he?
Sometimes, always, never. Something has changed. Something has changed. I don't know why. Something has changed. Something has changed.
And we're back with Carl. Carl is just telling us, Edwyn Collins, if he did the soundtrack, there's some stellar names in that. There is, you did. That was very good. But I must asked about the question. The sometimes, always, never. It's such a mod thing. Did you get that in there because it's a mod thing, or where did that come? Well,
the film was originally called Triple Word Score for a long time, actually. But Sometimes Always Never was in the script. And when we were shooting the film, when I heard Bill say that line, Sometimes Always Never, it made me think that should be the name of the film. Change it. So that's where the name came from, the end. But no, it was around for a while. And also it kind of suited because when Bill agreed to be in the film, is we changed the occupation. Because originally Bill's character, Alan, in the very, very early script, he worked in IT.
Right, okay.
But when we knew Bill would be in the film, we thought, if Bill's going to be in it, you don't make Bill an IT worker.
Yeah. No, that doesn't work, does it? No. I now that makes sense. Because is that when you're doing films? Are you one of those directors that let people improvise, or do you, once you've got the character, the actors, do you kind of mould it a bit and then off we go?
I don't do improvise at all. I don't. I love it. I love to watch other people do it. I like to watch it, but I don't like to direct it. I'm not a fan of doing that. I'm not a control freak, by the way, but it's just just to think I want to shoot the script.
Yeah.
So no, I don't really go for improvisation at all. But I'm very kind of. I mean, all the films I like tend to be kind of European, it's in East European, and Japanese cinema as well. So I kind of look to a different place rather than British cinema. I look somewhere else. So a lot of the things I do, a lot of the style, a lot of the moves and tone and types of storytelling.
Oh, okay.
From
and they do two stories in different ways. I'm conscientious. I will take over. Luke, keep on the questions.
I just wanted to say that also we've talked a lot about the music, but if there's anybody watching tonight on social media who has any film-related questions, whether it's about Carl's films or just films in general, he's obviously a big film fan, so if there's any questions, please comment them and we'll ask them at the end of the show. But we will
comments because it's dried up a bit. I've got nothing to do, so come on, right in.
right in, boys and girls. But I will quickly ask, obviously, after the lockdown, is there any more film ideas in the pipeline? Any early ideas you're allowed to share with us, or any of that kind of stuff?
Well, not to share, but I've got a script which is pretty much finished now with Frank Cottrell Boyce again.
Okay.
He's just tidying the script now, and then hopefully we should start pitching that in the next week or so. In fact, I know the lockdown's pretty bad, but for pitching films, it's kind of all right at the moment because people have got time to read scripts now.
Right.
So in a weird way, it's not a bad time to pitch a film. It's a very bad time to make a film.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. If there's anybody else who's got any film ideas out there, and we don't mean those kind of films either. So we just want a bit of a self-indulgent question for us, but obviously it's plain to see that you dress a lot more in a mod style than perhaps you did back in the 90s. So, and hence you're a customer of mod shoes. So, would you care to tell us about some of your favourite products that you have ordered from us?
Well, I think more kind of as you get older, I think you become a bit more aware of kind of what you are, I suppose, as well. So in terms of clothing, it's also as well for me is I'm thin, and it's unlikely between now and death I'll get any wider. Because I think if I was really wider, it would have happened by now. So it's kind of, if there's one kind of look and a place where you can buy clothes from, which tend to fit all right, is anywhere that's got the word mod in front of it. If I went down the market of Googling lumberjackjackets.com, they don't even make small.
No. No. We have this, Carla. One of the guys who's watching is a guy called Tim, and Tim is a jockey, or used to be a jockey, and he won't mind me saying, because he's a good friend, he's not big, you know, he's a jockey. That's kind of the point. And getting stuff for him is just like this. Everybody just caters for kind of like that, because they know that's where they're going to sell the most. And when you start trying to be a bit more inclusive, like we try to be, you know, it's and also it's a 60s cut. If you're going to do a shirt like this, yes, there's a few gentlemen like me that have got a few little extra bits there, but it's meant to be fitted. It's not meant to be baggy, you know, like it was in 1990. You know, it kind of was a look, wasn't it? But getting back onto subject, but you found us first, which
that's right, yeah.
So what was you looking for, and did we fulfil the brief?
I think that, what was the first thing? So I can't remember. It was a few things, but I got shoes definitely. Then it's like a beautiful kind of. It's called a Vinnie Gibson.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like an overcoat. I love that. I like this one, by the way. This is a.
I like that one. That's really nice.
Yeah.
Le Mans kind of 66 jacket.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. But once I sound like an expert. That kind of 60s look, a certain type of 60s look anyway, it never ever ages. So if you look at kind of photographs from kind of Soho, kind of early 60s, and then you look at the same suit now, it looks almost modern.
Yeah.
The word mod comes from the word modernist.
Of course, yeah.
So there is a kind of, if you look at those kind of brilliant kind of Italian, like Fellini films, or the French films, like say by Truffaut or Godard, if you look at the cut and the clothes those men and women are wearing, if you look at them now, they haven't dated at all.
No.
So I think you know, in a way, it's a bit lazy in a way, I suppose. I think if you're skinny and you're lazy, like me, then a 3-button Italian mohair tonic two-tone suit will never really date. So, you know, so I'm all for it. Well, listen, I put on 5 stone between now and next time I place an order with you.
Yeah.
In which case, at that point, I might be a goth. No offence to any.
Sorry, that just reminds me of my mate Dinger, because he used to have a thing about fat goths, but we're not talking about that. So.
About our goth friends.
Yeah, well.
Right.
Anyway.
So finally, Carl, just very quickly, you've obviously ordered stuff from us in the past, obviously, as you're wearing now. Is there any other style, type of clothing that you would like to see produced by Mod Shoes in the future?
Yeah, funny enough, I thought about that this morning. I was out, I run a lot, I'm always out running, and I've got a 1968 reissue Adidas tracksuit. It's a Franz Beckenbauer 1968 Adidas reissue.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not that good, I don't think, anyway. But I've noticed like a few films we've been watching lately from the 60s. And there's a tracksuit you see a lot of, but you can't buy it. And
okay.
But the zip doesn't go all the way down, and it starts kind of here.
Oh, okay.
I think I know.
Yeah.
I've seen them lately. Tell you what I watched the other day. One of the Steptoe films.
Right.
The son in the film, he's got a blue tracksuit on.
Now,
I looked at that.
Oh, right, okay. That's worth thinking about. I think that's definitely worth thinking about, because the suits and stuff sell, but the more casual stuff sells more because you can wear it casually. And more importantly, you can wear what you're wearing, what I'm wearing, you can wear to the pub.
Yeah.
If you want to be formal, which most people don't spend their life doing, you need something different. Look, we need to chip on.
We must. But we want to thank Carl for answering those questions.
Let's leave him there, because we've got a couple of other things.
He's been on with us, and hopefully we've got some...
Go on.
Sorry, if I may, I just have a few questions for Carl, really quickly, Carl, from social media. if I can just butt in really, really quickly. First of all, Jane Rachel says, Carl, do you wear your retro trainers when you go running? Because you are the sharpest dressed man in Liverpool, apparently. So I don't know, Jane.
Is that someone you know, Carl?
No, but Peter Hoot will hopefully fire a question to you now. No, I don't wear retro. I wear just wear a pair of Adidas kind of running shoes.
Second question, Elliot Easton, Dave, who was on the show as well, would like to make a Mod Shoes band live. I think Lee's joking. Carl, would you do as well?
Would I play bass for the Cars? Is that what I'm being asked? I've just been asked to join the Cars.
Well, Elliot wants to make the Mod Shoes live band, so totally new thing.
Could be a Small Faces song.
Yeah.
And we can do all or nothing. I'm in.
Yeah.
If we can get the latency to work.
That can be arranged. Even if we don't do it live, that can be arranged.
Yeah, we can do pre-recorded like me and Luke do.
I'll do it if Peter Hoot agrees to sing it.
Oh, are you?
There's a challenge. Lee, get on that one. And your last question, Kyle, just really quickly. You touched upon it earlier. So, what did the Inspirals call Noel Gallagher? Everybody wants to know at home.
Well, I'm sure his nickname was Monobrow.
There you go, everyone.
And I think if you check the back,
answered.
check the back of some of the Inspirals record sleeves, I'm sure it's on the back of some of them. One of the band told me, but I can't remember who it was.
He waxes it now, anyway. So, thank you so much, Carl, for answering those questions for us. We're gonna play out with a little bit of All Together Now.
Yeah, play out with that, and we'll come back in a minute. Let's do a bit. Now, guys, I'm going to have to cut that short because the people at Facebook will almost certainly cut me off at some point. They're really funny about playing pop videos. It's a great song, absolutely fantastic song. Anyway, what's coming up next is a band called the Limbos. They are from Spain, and they come from through my friend Rafael, who lives in Valencia. That's Valencia's in Italy. That's not right. Where does he live? Yeah. Anyway, but they kind of play an early 60s kind of, well, late 50s, early 60s kind of, not rock and roll, because it's not really rock and roll, but they play some really good stuff, and I thought they need bringing to the attention of us English. So here's the Limbos and Big Shot. Is it going to work? Yeah.
on book. I tried. I found myself a job. Easy enough to be an average clock. Waiting till you have my 42. The tears wait and see. I'm the highest degree. Big shot, yeah, big shot, right. All of me, baby girl, I'm the one. Big shot.
I'm Dave Dry. I write about scooters and I've been a scooter enthusiast for many, many years. You've come to see my own GS160, which you might not like, but you can't ignore. This is one of the things, it's to be seen, isn't it? What's the point in doing 100 miles an hour? Nobody can see you, can they? But if you can pop along at 20 or 30, everybody can see you. Shoes in the 60s. Now, there were two big shoe shops. One was Rails, which later morphed into Revels, and the other was Toppers. Now, they were both quite expensive. Toppers was outrageous. The style pair of shoes in Toppers' window was 4 times my actual weekly income. I had a really beautiful pair of lace-up basket weave black shoes, which were wonderful until you wore them in the wet.
Well, you've just been watching the very lovely David Dry. We did that advert about 2 or 3 years ago now, and David, if you get to meet David in real life, he is proper funny. He's got 1,000 jokes, and some. Anyway, I need to take a moment to do some advertising. We have our new Luca out at the moment. I'm just showing you these retro trainers. We're really chuffed with them. I've been wearing them at work for the last week or so. You've seen the advert, but so I don't need to take you through them. They are proper nice. I'm really pleased with them. We do them in several colours. In the brown, I've got the white here. What I wanted to show you, I don't know if you can see, it's got like a lovely crinkle effect to it, which gives it a nice retro feel, which I think everybody can see. So rather than it kind of being just like a normal train, like white trainer, which is not always easy to get in the pictures. And lastly, because I know Elliot's listening all the way over. Let's wave at Elliot, who's in. He's in California, isn't he? Bless him. Yeah. And he is. His name is going against these, but we're going to talk more about that in the next couple of weeks. Because he's a good guy, and he almost definitely will buy a pair, knowing Elliot. And so that's going to be our boot. I'm going on and on and on about it, but there you go, because I think they're magnificent. Look at that. That's brilliant.
Nice.
That's brilliant. Luke, say again?
That's the best shoe you do, I think.
This boot that's coming out now?
That's what I think, yeah.
Yeah, this is... I don't want to preempt something, but every person I've shown this to, they've gone, this picture leaked out by mistake, and I was meant to be posting a video to a private group. It went on my Facebook wall, and with that I had 10 inquiries. Andy, where did them boots come from? And, I hope we've got enough of them. Otherwise, we're going to have to make a lot more. So
it's a good problem to be in, though.
Mate, I'm eternally grateful. During this, you don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining.
Perfect. It's perfect. So, ladies and gentlemen, that just about wraps us up for this week, I think.
Yep.
So we just very quickly to talk about next week's show, which is going to be a Northern Soul theme. Northern Soul theme next week. So
get your talc out.
Get your talc out, and if anybody fancies their chances at winning the free pair of shoes from Mod Shoes, there will be a Northern Soul theme quiz. So applications for that are available now through Facebook and at modshoes.co.uk. So get your applications in now. We really want to thank Carl for being here with us tonight and answering all the questions. It's been a pleasure to talk to you. So many interesting music facts that I could quite happily sit and listen to all night, but sadly we can't do that while we're live on air.
Yeah.
So hopefully Carl's sticking around for a little while after we go off air. So
come visit me in my care home.
I'm gonna be cheeky.
Come on, you said you'd visit. You said you'd visit.
I'm going to be really cheeky, and because we just spoke about Northern Soul, if you are a Northern Soul lover and a Motown lover, don't forget to tune into the Contacts on Saturday, where Luke and I will be performing live.
And
Or
I would
trying to.
That's true. For those who don't know, me and Jem, we play in a Northern Soul band, and Andy often DJs with us with a massive Northern Soul record collection, of which he looks like he's got one that he wants to show off.
No,
to us.
that one's.
Oh no, he's just holding a record. Sorry, there's no accounting for Andy. So that's right. So Saturday night, 8 o'clock. If you want to hear some Northern Soul songs, some performed live, some on original vinyl, you can hear that at the Contacts page.
But
what's he got now?
Well, I've got "Come On Train" by Don Thomas. I'm very pleased I got that this week.
Andy, you could play that at the end of the show if you end the show tonight.
Well, I possibly. That's not a bad idea. What's interesting about that, and I will digest for a second. It is one of our contestants.
Digest, or will you digress?
Digress even. The guy who sold me this record was in the quiz and he didn't win.
Yeah, well done, Kev. Sorry about that, Kev. Go back to playing your bass.
Anyway.
Yes. So that just about.
I think it is.
That's about it, isn't it? I think so.
It is. Yeah, we've got a song by you. We're going to play out with a song. You've been very industrious during this COVID thing, and
I have. Well, for everybody listening at home, I've been furloughed by work, so I've got a young child, and we've been doing some homeschooling, but I've been basically spending all my evenings that haven't involved
this
doing these live streams. Making music, so whether it be some have been covers, some have been my own songs, and Andy's played one at the start of the show, and he's going to play one tonight. So keep writing songs, keep recording them. If there's anybody out there who plays as Carl does, just do it. You know, Carl mentioned at the start of the show that getting signed was a very difficult thing. Getting signed still a difficult thing, but getting your music out there in this day and age is perhaps isn't so difficult. So
Luke's got his EP out on iTunes if you want to get it.
Exactly.
Right.
So record it, upload it.
That's it. Well, let's play this, and we'll say goodbye, and we'll see you all again next week when we're doing our Northern Soul special. So let's have your song, Luke, and off we go. Bye bye. Bye bye. No night, everyone. No night.
Goodbye.
In darkest of times, no positive signs. When the air feels so near, you fill me with life. You got me through the dark. Your heart is my light. When nothing makes sense, but my sins won't repent. When I'm consumed by the pain, you fill me with life. You got me through the dark. Your heart is my light. you all of my fears. Corners of my mind, nobody's been near. I would die happy knowing you were here. All along together, along by my side. You complete my soul when I'm feeling crucified. Well, there's cracks in the glass, small reminders of my past. When I remember how you fill me with life, you got me through the dark. Your heart is my light.
Wow, no idea what I'm doing back here.
This one's for my friend Elliot Easton, who's still listening, I think.
Gotta find my baby. Hey, gotta go back home.
The very brilliant Don Thomas, Come On Train. Thanks everybody for listening. This is my last song of the evening. Thank you everyone for watching. It really does mean something to us all for doing it and the effort that we put in and all that sort of stuff. Have a good week and we'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.
Haven't made my way back home. Standing here in the Soul Depot, waiting for the train to come on. So come on, train. traveling from country, city to city, trying to find somewhere to belong. So come on, train. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, how I long, yes I long to see her smiling face. But yeah, but I know it's been so long. I hope it's not